What makes a woman love? Hang her weary head and cry. What makes a woman hang her weary head and cry? When she starts to tell her only loving man goodbye. A woman is a woman.
Jack. Here. I'm gonna do 2024, October 29th, Dustbowl shoot at the soup kitchen. It's gonna be lit.
Let's go.
Yeah, we've been working on the project for a while now. Me and Jacob Thusen. About it, yeah, more than a year now. Like way more than a year, probably. But yeah, this project's been in the works for a while. We're on like the 4th version of the script. Just started shooting for this year, so yeah, it's been good.
This is gonna be fucking sick. Dustbowl day 1 for real. Day 1 for real. Let's go.
Minus 20 degree weather I was shooting in.
That was day negative 2. Because the weather was negative 2.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, I've always been into film. I always loved watching movies as a kid. I always loved, especially sci-fi, like watching all the cool visual effects stuff that people were able to put together. That was always a big part of what I was doing. And I got a job in the games industry as a freelance 3D artist, and I did that for a couple of years. And around my senior year in high school, I started trying to apply that to film, like putting VFX into like real shots and stuff like that. And that's when I got my first writing experience, and I was like, wait a second, there's like something to this. Like, writing isn't just about like making a cool story. Like, you can really get invested in these characters and make some really interesting stuff.
And say like sit down and prepare to say the first line and we'll cut.
I would say the first line.
Say the first line.
Do the first exchange.
Jack.
Perfect.
First line each for this take. Just the first line you say in the scene.
Yeah.
Okay?
But I tried to take a lot of influence from the movies I watched growing up. A lot of the themes and the coloring, as you're going to see when we start working on this movie, was based on like Soviet movies that I grew up with my childhood, like what's it called, White Sun in the Desert, which was like a Soviet Western movie. Another good influence is definitely like the Vietnam movies of the 80s, stuff like Full Metal Jacket or Apocalypse Now. This kind of like combining that kind of sense of like hyper-Americanism that these movies tried to portray, and making it and using it to kind of relate to the fascist elements of the movie and make it relatable to characters who don't live in the same world as us. That's kind of been my inspiration for the world. And another place that I took a lot of inspiration from with just how we've structured the movie a little bit was shows like Band of Brothers or like, what's the Iraq one? Generation Kill. I wanted to treat it as if we were making a historical documentary about events that didn't happen. Just do it in a really authentic way, like with a lot of lore, where you can watch the movie and you can look at the soldiers in the different uniforms and stuff, and there's always a reason why a certain person is in a certain place. It makes sense historically in history that didn't happen. How did I come up with this story? Well, so in my senior year in New York, I was working on a film for my senior project with some friends, just because I wanted to make something, and I was like, good excuse for my project. And so that back then we decided on this like post-apocalyptic story, where inspired by like what was going on in Afghanistan at the time. Like, you know, Afghanistan just fell about like a year before. So we were like, okay, what if let's make something that people in America can relate to about this. We took the same world from that, the nuclear apocalypse, the kind of late 60s, early 70s vibe, and some of those themes of like religious conflict and like why people do the things they do under regimes they don't believe in. And we brought that over to Utah. So with this movie, we've kind of tried to explore some other things of like, we have this nation, and we have these people fighting in this war for this nation, and we explore why are there so many people who are fighting for a war they don't believe in? Because that's what was really like with everything going on in Russia at the time. You know, I have family in Russia. I've had to help evacuate people from Ukraine. It's such a good reminder of like what war does. How many people who are being drafted and forced to fight from like Korea and Russia genuinely believe in what they're fighting for? Probably last year, me and Jacob he got this camera, we started messing around. We went down to Provo to shoot this some test footage for this movie, and it just clicked right there. Just having our guys in costume, having them read my lines on the script, best experience ever. You can't replace it. And Tom Glassman, who plays Captain Morgan in the movie, has been super duper helpful for that, just by like inspiring the character he plays and kind of morphing him into this really alive, like, you know, character with some meat that you can bite into. But that's kind of how it's worked for every character, where they've been in the script since the beginning, and as we've gone through refinement, who they are starts to come to the surface a little bit.
Kid, you should have seen it. Kids younger than you with guns riding around in pickup trucks, shooting anyone who looked at them wrong. The new regime. Goddamn revolutionaries.
Playing the character of Morgan has been really interesting. I like him. I like how in each like revision of the script that Simon's done, the character of Morgan has always remained like an essential part of the story and an interesting part of the story. I like him because there's characters in the story like Cole's character Ellis, who, you know, kind of kill for the heck of it, or kill because that's what they like enjoy or they're determined to do. Whereas my character is kind of one that doesn't like the situation he's in, but he's been put in it because of just things out of his control, but also his own mistakes, just like a bad combo. And getting to play that sort of a character has been really interesting. In terms of getting into the character, I'm not really a big follower of like method acting in the sense of, well, I gotta get depressed and smoke 4 times a day, but no, for me, my acting kind of comes a lot from analyzing the text and knowing what's happening, but also allowing myself the room to feel what I need to feel in that moment. Not like become the character, but live truthfully through the character. That's the best thing I can do.
But yeah, so casting for this has been partially that, and I'm glad I looked out with Tom again, because that guy's amazing. But I think another huge part of it was like meeting people from the theater program who were interested in like meeting people from other film projects too. Like Rahul Dave introduced me to Cole Saxey, who's going to be playing Ellis. It's a really cool community out here in Salt Lake. Like, you can go on any set and probably find someone you know. It's like a super super tight knit group, and everybody is super just nice. Like, there's no gatekeeping. There's none of that. Like, I help Rahul out with some stuff. He helps me out with some stuff. Casting in a large part has been just knowing people in the area.
No. Your heels touching. Feet 45 degrees. Fists closed. Thumbs, yes. Along seam of the pants. There you go. Elbows in. That's better.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not wearing these in this scene, but I'll get you pre-measured for it. So duty belts.
Yeah, I had a full Model 56 rig attached to this, but it's not for this scene. Let's see, where's the US? US face up. So let's see if this is still too loose.
Your rank.
This will be fine.
Yeah, like whatever rank, whatever you need, like a rank.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
When we started this project, everything was kind of against us. And I thought about quitting quite a lot, but Jacob Dusin really, he really helped just kind of center me and tell me, like, no, we started this, we're going to finish it. I don't care if it's hard, I don't care if it costs a shit ton of money, because we've both finished those so much money. He was just like, we started this, we got to finish it. And I think there were a lot of roadblocks we've faced and continue to face while working on this. Like, shooting locations, finding shooting locations where you can film and work for your scenes is difficult. Especially, I know directors, we all have a certain kind of image in our head of what a scene is supposed to look like, especially if you also wrote that same scene. It's very difficult to kind of see a scene that's different than how you saw it in your head and be like, does this work or not, like objectively. And don't be afraid if you don't have what you need, but you really have a vision that you like want to have and it's really pounding at you. Like, don't be afraid to take time to pursue it. Just like go out there and do it. Like, especially Salt Lake City, Utah, we've got such a great community of creators here who are all like desperately looking for stuff to work on constantly. Go to meetings, go to events outside of the campus especially. Go to like film festival events when that circuit starts running again. Even if you don't have a movie there, me, Tom, Jacob, and Rahul, we went to one of these events. We didn't have anything playing there. We just went to like talk to the people who are there. Because of that, because of going to that event, Rahul's horror movie, The Tree Line, is going to be premiering at the University of Mumbai in a month. So don't be afraid to go out there, make connections, find like-minded people who would be down to work on your projects. It's about marketing. And as someone who is kind of an introvert, that was a really difficult aspect of it, of like, I can make the movie and it doesn't matter how good it is if no one knows it's out there. So we've been doing a lot with marketing and networking just to make sure people know our name and know what's out there. Like, as you remember, just a couple months ago, we went to FanX. We gathered a group of actors and production assistants and people who were working on the movie, and we put them all in the military gear from the movie. We gave them all like the armbands of like the fictional empire from the movie, and we walked around FanX handing out propaganda posters with our Instagram on them. Stuff like that. You have to, be unique. Do stuff that gets your name out there. That's the only way that you can stand a chance at having success in the industry.
For a movie we're filming, so we have like a bunch of branches of this fictional army here. Like him and him. Oh, it's the Pusey. He's like representing the actual army. Me and Jacob and Joey, we're all press officers. And then these two are dressed as civilian volunteers. Thank you.
And so what film is this that you're doing?
Oh, I can give you a poster.
Yes.
It's called the Dustbowl. It's set in post-apocalyptic Utah after a nuclear war in the 1970s.
The Dustbowl is a project that has been a lot of fun to be part of, because ultimately, this is a project where we're all college students. The main cinematographer is Jacob, who's a wizard at it. He's really good, but he's a biomedical engineer. Like, that's his degree. Simon is games. Our crew is friends that are volunteering, and all of our props and uniforms and all that are basically coming directly out of Simon's pocket at places that he can thrift. This project is one that I'm really excited to be part of, and I'm really grateful for the part that I've been given in the script.
But I still would say, if you started a project that it's like, this is huge, I can't do this, just try as hard as you can to finish it. Because I've done some of my best work I've ever done under the pressure of this project. And, pressure isn't always great, but in this situation, it's been really good to just kind of like force yourself through like trial baptism by fire in terms of this. Like, if we can finish this, we can finish anything kind of thing.
But yeah, this project, it's definitely been a big labor of love, I think. This is like, I know how much this thing means to Simon, and that's why I'm happy to be part of it. It just feels like a big thing we're all kind of pushing towards. And that's the nice part. Because I think we all, at the end of the day, want to see it get done.
Keep yourself alive. Whatever happens after, that happens after.